God bless you, everyone, in the name of Mary Baba, Jesus Christ. Okay. Now, lighthouses. I'm gonna go into some things I don't think anyone's gone into. Shocking. um, Someone brought up lighthouses recently, but let's take it a bit further. Have you looked into lighthouses? Look at this lighthouse right here we're looking at. Who built that? That's impossible to build. Like, all these old lighthouses were supposed to be built before airplanes and things. So that before they existed, that's the story. And you know, if you begin to look into these isolated lighthouses and where some of them are, um, this is like a list somebody made. Not every, not. I mean, look at this. you know, you just like what? So these these are supposed to all have been built like in the 1800s. Like, you know, if you just Google this stuff, and you begin to look at these lighthouses that are in the middle of nowhere, and you know, can't possibly have been. I mean, what? Look at this thing. It's like that water. You know, just so many lighthouses are in places that no matter how much money you pay to any business to build like a lighthouse, like where some of these are, they couldn't do it with modern technology. It's impossible. And yet, these are all, you know, some of these, like if you really look into it, you'll see so many of these things just in the middle of nowhere, you know? Look at this. And this is just a cursory, you know, like one Google search we're looking at. If you really got into it, you'd find so many everywhere. And look at them. They're all super old. They're all old. None of them are new. They're not built with any modern technology. I mean, can you begin to see that people haven't built everything that's here? I was trying to show with lighthouses, you know, the obviousness of the simple fact that people haven't built everything here. In this reset mud flood thing, you know, people are looking like, okay, who was here? Who did what? You know, look at this. Oh my God, you look at some of these and it's just absurd. You know, see, yes, they're hiding God. We're obviously rainbows prove we're inside a sphere. The moon is an old Earth. And so they're hiding everything. They're hiding the way the universe works, everything. Like, it is knowable. Somebody did write down a bunch of this, and then you can observe the rest of it. So, okay, I mean, just lighthouses by themselves, okay, prove so many of these things. When you look them up, it's just beyond imagination what's supposed to have been done. You know, in what years. They don't have any modern ones. Like, with all the modern technology and everything, there are no new lighthouses like this, you see. Like, even, you know, when they could have used some more of them, when they didn't really have the technology, they weren't building any of that. In other words, after this recent reset, they haven't built any lighthouses. None of these. These are all, you know, post-Diluvian. Like, you know, I'm sorry. These are all antediluvian. They're from before, you know, the flood. You see, like, but you need to, because everyone's assuming, you know, this is part of the delusion. I wanted to use lighthouses to help reveal part of the delusion that's going on in people's minds, like part of our shared delusion, you see. We think as we look at this place that, if you don't know that some God, some force stronger than you, above you, created this, if you think everything's random and you're on a ball spinning, you don't know this is a created in particular place. You don't know the reason. You don't know what's going on. You don't know. But when you know all that stuff, and you know someone's created this existence, right, for God realization, when you know that, and you know it's an illusion, and you know that you've been lied to about everything, and then you begin to use your eyes and look at things, you say, well, see this, we're in the sea, we're in a bubble, a sphere, in the ocean, that blue ocean you see all day long above you, right? We're inside that. So there was this ocean of God, which is everything, and then whoop, this bubble formed inside where there was nothing. So see, God did that. And you're thinking that God couldn't create lighthouses and buildings, but he created animals and people and things that live and breathe. Like, those are way harder to make, these systems in here, right? But see, people have built houses and things like that, right? So they equate houses and buildings with, the people must have built them. Why? People didn't build people. You know what I mean? People didn't build trees. They didn't build animals. They didn't build fish. They didn't build those things. You see? So you need to quit thinking like that. This is, I liked, I was interviewed by Lori recently, a few months ago. And she used the word supernatural construct for this reality. That's true. It is physically constructed. Something made this place form, and these bodies that we're inhabiting now, this is all formed in here. This is constructed. See, none of the stories make sense. This is a joke that lighthouses in their stories, you start looking into them, they're all this supposed to be old, and they just, what? You get a wooded ship next to one of these things in the middle of the sea, and you wreck your boat, and you're carrying heavy loads there. It's ridiculous, the stories they come up with, okay? It's absurd, okay? It's not really possible, so start, you're looking at all these old photos from the reset and so on, and they're just children mostly on the streets of places, like just children were there, and then all the buildings were there. They're all empty. They're like in mint condition. It's like, what is all, it's like, a reset, like somebody pushed the reset button on a game, but it has a physical construct, you see? You need to start seeing that some of these things here cannot have been built by humans, like Renaissance paintings. Those super vivid paintings you see from the Renaissance. They're like, they have like 50 layers to them at a depth of like 2 microns or something like that. And, we can't get a digital printer to print one layer as thin as, the 50 layers are. As one layer. People, it doesn't matter what kind of technology was going on or something. That's impossible. Okay, that's not possible. You see? So many of these buildings, it doesn't matter what the technology is, it's beyond, making in the way that we understand it. It's created, yes. But, someone created this world. Did a human make the ocean? No. Do you see? This created place, you have to see for what it is. It's just here for us to make our way back home with God realization. That's what it's here for. But see it as, it's not a place you want to stay. It's a joke. It's not real. Okay, it's just a place to get realization, but it's not a real place. That's what they call it, the matrix, like a womb, right? You're birthing your consciousness, and then you don't have to take a body again in here. Yay. Okay, so that's lighthouses, all right? Did we get somewhere? I hope we got a little somewhere today. And I want to see, this is all, like my work of the trust and signing with God. I mean, I do this work, You know, so you can see God is real. I mean, it's just absolutely so obvious. You can look in just so many places. So the trust, right? Liberty Aid, jackmccaig.com, like that's your salvation. Jesus becomes your intercessor. There is a true God. That I can see all of this and make it obvious to everyone else. Obviously, I'm connected to God. Obviously, right? Come on. Stay with me here. Just you begin to see with your eyes, truthfully and honestly, you know, with our God-given senses and our, you know, mind and so on. This game that we're stuck in the middle of becomes easier to beat. Okay? All right. All right. God bless you, one and all.